Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. We are standing out at the 40. We've got the 4020 and the bale carrier hooked up, and you may be able to see some lopsided bales out here. Well, a couple days ago, we've been putting our stuff together to get ready for hay season. Usually we try to start cutting around June 1st, but the weather hasn't really been that cooperative. And the forecast really hasn't been helping us out all that much. So we had a short stint of good looking weather. So we wanted to test everything to make sure that that the mower was going to work, that the both balers were going to work just fine. So we cut down some stuff over at the main farm, mostly just waterways and a few patches here and there, and this small patch out at the 40, which is like 6 acres. We came out to test both balers to make sure that they were going to work, and now we're ready to go for hay season whenever the weather starts to cooperate. But as you may be able to see, there wasn't enough time for the bales to start drying properly. They are pretty wet, so we're going to be moving these back to my place. I'm going to feed them out first, and that way we can get rid of them. We didn't really have enough of a window to where we could have gotten these dried out and baled properly. But we had to get them made because we got a bunch of rain just a couple days ago. So Travis is heading out here with the John Deere skid steer right now. We're gonna load these up and take them out. Shouldn't take more than an hour or so. This hay sat for at least 2 or 3 days, and it just didn't really seem to dry. We had high moisture a few days, and we had spontaneous bits of rain come through, and it just got time to bale them. This is some high quality stuff right here. One of the reasons I think these bales didn't dry very effectively is because there's a lot of clover out in this field. I'm not totally sure why it took over. Both? Maybe take this load out to mine and take the next one out to yours just to get rid of them?
We're not going to keep the clover stay too much. But that right there is a definition of you do something with it, or you leave it lay and it gets an inch of rain on it, that is what an inch of getting.
Yeah.
We had a wrapper, probably been a different story, but I'm going to go ahead and say that this stuff in particular, that had a lot more moisture in it than the other stuff we first baled that day.
Yeah.
Stuff just doesn't want to let the water go. You see, that's more grass, you know.
That one's not as lopsided. I don't know why the clover took over there. So not all the bales were bad, but in spots where there was a lot of clover, they're extremely squishy. So we're gonna feed one of these out right now. Yummy. Here's another bale that we made that same day, and this is more grass slash alfalfa than in clover. It looks a lot better. And even this stuff wasn't totes and goats dry, but it's doing a lot better than that clover stuff. After I'm done with this, going on with the day, I'm probably gonna load up a load of crossbow in the gator and go around and spray fence lines. So once we're done here, we're probably gonna take one load back to Rockville so Travis can feed the bales, those bales to his cows. Yeah, this one's pretty nasty too. We got one more to get on the next hillside over. It was technically pasture, but when Dad was raking this field, Travis and I had the gator, and I had a load of crossbow, and it had a little bit of diesel fuel mixed into it. And we were driving around the field. It's like, why don't we dump the rest of that out here? So we did along the fence lines, and it's doing the job. It's definitely torching some of this stuff. It's like I could use a second application though, because we didn't get everything. It's working real good there though. I still haven't gotten to spray weeds like I wanted to, so in the meantime, since I'm getting tired of sitting on my hands and waiting for us to start doing more exciting stuff, I'm gonna go ahead and trench in the Starlink cable from the house over to the fence line. So last night, Hannah and I ran conduit, 3/4 inch conduit over the Starlink cable so that I can trench it underground. And we fought with it for like an hour, but we finally got it snaked through there. And so far, Starlink has been very great for us. It's been our saving grace. I went over to the farm and used their internet to do something online, and it infuriates me going back to that slow of internet, having to sit and wait for 30 seconds for a page to load up. So we've been using it now for the last couple months. Starlink has been great since I moved it away from underneath this tree here. There haven't been any dropouts whatsoever. The speed, I would say we average at minimum 35 megabits per second, and at tops I've seen it all the way up to like 80. So really happy with Starlink. You know, we probably aren't going to be getting fiber out here anytime in the next decade at least, so I think this is our long-term solution, and it's working awesome for us. I actually just saw another house in town that has one of these set up in their yard as well, so I'm like, you know what, we need to get that set up, because it's just been sitting out in the lawn ever since we got it set up, and it's been working great, but I need to get it out of the way, and there's a fence post over there that I want to run it to, so probably going to do that now. So there's our conduit. The second wire that I'm digging, or that I'm setting down with it, is rated for underground direct burial, so it should be fine right next to that conduit. Let's go get the JCB. Now this trenching attachment for the JCB has multiple uses, so I'm going to take off one of these tines here, and then that'll serve as a single row trencher instead of a dual row trencher. There we go. I have had this marked, and the only thing that's in this area of the yard is that cable that I dug, but I'm hoping that I can stay away from it by digging closer to the fence. I think I should be all right, but we'll just have to wait and see. But let's go ahead and start digging. The good news is I have not hit it yet, and I'm almost to where I need to go. So I'm hoping that I don't hit that Cat 6E cable that I dug years ago. I just got the mount for the Starlink put on this post. It's nice and secure. This is on a support post for kind of a corner post here, and this is a newer post, so it should last long enough to where it'll probably outlast the Starlink. Should start powering up now. Got everything set up. We got the Starlink put into place. I got 2 cameras set up, so if you guys remember that other extraneous cable that I ran, never have too many cameras on the farm, but at the advice of our agronomist over here, he said, you know, it'd be cool to put up a camera on the crops. So I got this camera pointing out into the field, and we'll see how the crops grow over the next week or so. I might leave it up all summer, who really knows. But that other box there is for the driveway chime, and as you can see, I mean, I could have done it better, I think, more professional for this camera, but it's fine. It's fine. I've had the other one like that for the last 5 years, and I dug that one in with the shovel by hand, probably 2 inches deep max, and I haven't hit it with the lawnmower yet, so that's a good sign. Someone asked me what made me think of using the pallet forks to dig the trench, and the last time I did this, I dug a 300-foot trench by hand, and sometime after, like a year or 2 later, it occurred to me, you know, like, why didn't I just try using the pallet forks? And that's what made me think of it, to use it this time, and it worked great. It was a lot better. I got a lot deeper, and it was a lot easier to dig out the trench too. So I think overall it did a better job, although I still had to scoop it out by hand, and I'm going to go back along and try to shovel as much dirt back into the trench as I can, and then I'll probably get the bucket and just kind of lightly scrape it over it to even it out. I don't want to kill the grass, but I want to make sure that all the dirt gets back to where it needs to be. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I apologize for my posting schedule getting kind of out of whack. We've got only less than 3 weeks until the wedding. And I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff in the meantime, as far as like making hay too. So my schedule might get a little out of whack and might stable out a little bit better early in July. So just wanted to keep you guys up to date on that. So with that, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out all of our other videos. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, all How Farms Work. And with that, I'll see you next time.